Good evening, Bahamas. Coming up tonight.
Months after she was let out on bail, the alleged child abductor is charged again. An assistant commissioner of police to sue the police chief. The Mortgage Corp looking to help those with homes damaged by Hurricane Dorian. Plus, we go in the shack with the Valley Boys.
Our News is brought to you by Alive.
Welcome to Our News and thanks for joining us. I'm Kyle Joaquin. A woman who was previously charged with 4 counts of child abduction was hauled before the courts again today, facing a new attempted child stealing charge. Jared Higgs tells us the tearful woman begged to be remanded to Sandilands and told the court the lodge is plotting against her.
Accused child abductor Deidre Gibson was visibly agitated as she was escorted inside the magistrate's court by 2 police officers earlier today. In this footage, Gibson was moments away from being charged with her 5th child stealing related offense, a single count of attempted child stealing.
Do you want me to say more?
It's up to you, ma'am.
Do you want me to pen my more or say more?
Back in April, she was charged with 4 counts of abduction of an unmarried person. Those charges were upgraded to child stealing in August and were in relation to the abductions of a 3-year-old boy and 3 8-year-old boys. After being told by Magistrate Samuel McKinney that she would be remanded to prison, Gibson told the court that she had been previously charged with 4 abductions and was granted bail. She acknowledged that her case was pending before the Supreme Court and that she had an attorney representing her in that matter. Today, though, there was no attorney present.
Please make sure I look like sense before you all bombard me and tarnish my name and my business.
After being read the charges, the woman's interest quickly shifted to what her accommodations would be once she was remanded. She told the court that she's a patient at Sandilands Rehabilitation Center and that she takes medication. McKinney then advised the accused child snatcher that he will make a note for a psychiatrist to see her while she's on remand at the Bahamas Department of Corrections. Gibson then asked directly if she could go to Sandilands, to which McKinney replied, "You're being remanded to jail." A tearful Gibson then blurted out that the lodge is plotting against her and she doesn't know what she did to deserve this. She also said that she did not do it and she was not guilty. McKinney then urged Gibson to be quiet again so she didn't say something to prejudice the case against her. Ultimately, she was not required to enter a plea to the charge, and she was advised of her right to apply for bail in the Supreme Court. Now, Gibson will return to court in this matter on February 28th. That's when she'll be served with a voluntary bill of indictment. That's going to fast-track her case to the Supreme Court, where her matter will be heard by a judge and a jury. Reporting for Our News, I'm Jared Higgs.
All right, thanks, Jared. Well, the attorney for an assistant commissioner of police who is preparing to take the government to court over his transfer is speaking out. He says despite Minister of National Security Marvin Dames' assertion, the actions taken against his client are clearly personal. Berthany McDermott reports.
Nearly 2 weeks after Assistant Commissioner Ken Strawn returned to duty, his attorney Wayne Monroe said his client intends to sue Police Commissioner Anthony Ferguson. This legal action comes after Ferguson did not respond to a letter Monroe sent on December 12th seeking clarification on Strawn's appointment letter. The ACP returned from forced vacation leave last week to discover he had been appointed as Chief of Security for the William A. Pratt and Simpson Penn juvenile facilities.
You're the Chief of Security at the boys' school, the girls' school. Mightn't you need access to information that's on the police AS400? Might you not need to send emails to the Security Intelligence Branch or the gang unit of the police force about inmates at your 2 schools if they were serious? And if you're down there on an emergency kick-up, shouldn't you be able to reach the police urgently and quickly on a radio set? And so it almost strikes me as like the young people would say, a petty vibe.
Monroe added that when Strawn returned to the office from a dental appointment on December 12th, staff members informed him that they had been instructed to deactivate his access card, email, access to the police criminal profile, and radio systems. According to Monroe, this is inconsistent with authorities' claim that the assistant commissioner would remain a police officer.
Today, we would have taken final instructions. I expect to review documents this afternoon. Depending on how complete I find them to be, we can either file in the morning.
Monroe also slammed National Security Minister Marvin Dames, who insisted the decision to move Strawn was not personal.
If it's not personal, then it's just duncy. You could do some things not because you're being malicious, but just because you're being dumb. I accept that. He may be correct. There may be no malice to it. They may just be being purely dumb.
Dames has maintained Strawn's new appointment is not a demotion. Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
Well, National Security Minister Marvin Dames defending government's $17 million contract for unmanned aerial drones. Some observers have questioned whether government is getting bang for its buck with the costly equipment. Dames, however, says a lot went into choosing one company out of 25.
And that $17 million was one of the lowest bid. We had bids in excess of close to $100 million, okay? And so we have to get out of our heads that when we speak about drones, that we're not talking about the drones in the department store. We're talking about the drones that can do any number of things, some to which I can't even speak about here right now.
Swift Engineering was the company chosen for the drone construction. Dames said the $17 million also includes training for employees throughout various government agencies to operate them.
We can use them in almost any theater. We will also have the capabilities to use them underwater, okay? And we're creating as well a regional center of excellence. So at the end of all of this will be a center whereby where we will have an academy to train people locally and from around the region and to keep ahead of the curve.
The Bahamas Mortgage Corporation is working to return homes damaged by Hurricane Dorian to the condition they were in before the storm. The corporation is responsible for 1,000 homes between Grand Bahama and Abaco. 75% of those homes were damaged during the storm. Managing Director Philip Haven says the turnaround process can take about 24 to 48 hours if followed correctly.
Complete and file a claim request directly with J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers at their East Mall Drive, Freeport location. 2. Provide to the Bahamas Mortgage Corporation at least one Bahamas government licensed contractor's estimate for the repairs or the reconstruction of the following supporting contractor's documentation: current business license, current tax compliance certificate, an approved builder's certificate, usually obtained from the Ministry of Housing.
Customers must also obtain an assessment by the BMC's technical team. Haven says the process is being followed strictly because checks that were distributed for home repairs following Hurricane Matthew weren't used for that purpose. He added the process is also open to delinquent borrowers.
Customers in Grand Bahama who are experiencing damage, the majority of them are delinquent, but delinquency is not the issue because we are going to restore the home to the way it was before the hurricane, regardless of the status of the mortgage.
Well, when Hurricane Dorian slammed into Abaco and Grand Bahama, many evacuees fled to New Providence for a better life. Among them was Ashante Reckley, who made the decision to start over. Jasmine Brown has her story.
While Hurricane Dorian was devastating, there are those who found a silver lining, like 24-year-old Ashante Reckley, who says she's found joy in doing what she loves. Her smile is infectious and her personality is bubbly. It's hard to believe this mother and Abaco native lost everything when Hurricane Dorian devastated the northern Bahamas in early September.
Everyone had that expectations that the storm would just turn away like any other normal one, but this one was like designated specifically for Abaco.
Reckley and her young son were forced to evacuate the island they had always called home. She fought to keep it together as the situation began to take its toll mentally.
It was horrific. It was terrible. I mean, everything that you can think about, it was devastating. And then we were forced to move because, like my family and other families, we lost everything. And that's when it really got real.
For a few months after the storm, they lived in the United States. But after her son struggled to adjust to American schools, she decided it was best to head back to the Bahamas. While her son returned to Abaco, Reckley relocated to New Providence to put her certifications in semi-permanent makeup to work. She says it was the best decision of her life.
I'm not going to just sit home and wait for something to be given to me. I'll I'll go and work for it.
Now she is known as the Brow Angel with certifications in microblading, a technique that creates the illusion of fuller brows. The young mother says it's her work that keeps her going in the toughest of times.
I push, like now, to be honest with you, I push more than ever for myself than I would in the past. And that's one of the positive things that came out of it.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Jasmine Brown.
All right, thanks, Jasmine. Still to come, the Prime Minister is still awaiting that marijuana report. Plus, the Valley Boys preparing for the big rush on Bay. Stay tuned.
From TV to phone to fast internet, how can we show appreciation for the 25 years you've been with Rev? To celebrate our 25th birthday, Rev is rewarding 250 lucky customers with $250,000 cash back. Simply switch to Trio, upgrade to Trio, or pay your bill in full and have your chance to win cash this Christmas. Just call 601-8992 or email us at trio@cablebahamas.com. Rev, you and us together.
You're watching Our News. Welcome back. The Prime Minister hasn't received the marijuana report despite a November completion deadline. Dr. Hubert Minnis says he stands by previous comments he has made on the matter.
I'm looking forward to it. I have not received the report yet. As soon as I receive the report, we present the report to Cabinet so it can be reviewed and we can move forward with decision. As you know, I'm on record saying I believe in decriminalization of marijuana. So many of these young kids who were charged can have their records expunged and they can carry on with their life. That has not changed, and I look forward to getting those things completed.
The Bahamas National Commission on Marijuana was tasked with compiling the views of Bahamians on the substance and to make recommendations to the government. Minnis says he isn't concerned with the report's tardy submission.
No, we still have quite a bit of time. I'm confident that I'd probably receive the report within the next 2 weeks. And as soon as we receive the report, the press would know. You would know that we've received the report. You won't know of the content yet until we have reviewed it.
While many Bahamians are busy in the throes of Christmas preparations and celebrations, there is a segment of the society almost oblivious to the festivities around them. These are the Junkanooers battling in the shacks. Jerome Sawyer visited the Valley Boys shacks.
It's the place where the group brings the parade concept to life. But that comes with discipline, hard work, and a commitment to keep this going. There is also something they believe known as the psychology of the group.
So one of the things I find interesting is people come on their lunch break.
Yeah, people come on their lunch break. Like I said, it's you could be to work, but during this time, the psychology is you're not at work. If you're a real Junkanoo, you're not going to be at work. You're physically there, but mentally, so you can't wait for lunchtime to come. And when you come in, you can, sometimes they miss their lunch. Sometimes they kind of like get back to work late, but it's all in good faith of the group going to Bay Street.
As the parade countdown gets closer to performance day, there is almost a natural chaos that sets in, especially after the group picks up their order of entry into the parade.
You have to balance it at this stage. If you don't balance it, it only becomes more chaotic. Because with what they call nervous sad day that's passing, young people especially are still trying to balance off, but it's only a number. And at this time we are trying to balance everything off and, just move forward slowly but surely.
Yet, for all their great costuming, it goes nowhere if there isn't the right music.
We have arrangers that arrange and compose the music. It starts with them first, figuring out what kind of theme we want to go with or what kind of songs do we want to play. What are the popular songs, thinking of songs out of the box. We start with our arrangers first. With arrangements, they normally take about 3 hours to probably a day, maybe 2 days. So once that is done, the next thing is bringing it to the classrooms. We normally start practicing in April, and we don't start practicing until January 1st.
All All right, thanks, Jerome. Still to come, our countdown of the 12 days of Christmas continues. Stay tuned.
You've never had a Christmas like a Rev $250,000 cash back Christmas? Sign up for Trio now and get NBA League Pass free. That's right, simply switch or port your number to Trio or upgrade any single or double play package to Trio and get NBA League Pass free. Give Dad the best Christmas ever and get Trio now. Call 601-8992 for free NBA. Only with Rev, you and us together.
Available to existing Trio and triple play customers. Terms and conditions apply.
Together. It's the end of the Skywalker saga. In this new installment, we see the surviving Resistance face off against the First Order with our favorites, Rey and Finn, as they battle to see whether the light will overcome the dark forces.
And now, you're coming together.
As you can see, we have these concessions, so you could choose the dark side or the force. $15 for either one, and it comes and you get $3 refills. So you can get your soda, your drink. It comes with straws, and so we have the Rudery is having their usual premiere in Pure VIP for $65.
Fusion Superplex offering the experience in 40X, where you can feel and smell it all. And for those more into musicals, the highly acclaimed Cats, starring Jennifer Hudson and Jason Derulo, hits theaters tomorrow.
Will be a ladylike for the ladies. We get to have people like Relish and Wayne, the caricatures, Hannah, type of stuff.
And if you haven't decided how you're going to bring in 2020, Fusion's marketing manager, Timothy Bain, says the corporation's New Year's party has found its new home at the Superplex.
Buy corporation tickets, do not go to the pavilion. It's right at Fusion Superplex, 65 General, 100 VIP.